Welcome to the HSA Technology Seminar hosted by Burke Smith. Technology will never replace agents, but agents using technology will. Burke is a licensed California real estate broker and industry leader with more than 15 years of sales, marketing, and management experience in top-tier U.S. companies. He was the founder of iPay1 Inc., which was nominated 2 years in a row as Inman Innovator of the Year. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, your host, Mr. Burke Smith.
All right. How's everybody doing? Good? How's the market? Right? Tons of listings and too few buyers, right? It's just the opposite. I know. We see the same thing in San Diego. So on top of being Chief Communications Officer at HSA Home Warranty, I am an active broker in Southern California. I built my real estate company out of San Diego using most of the tools and strategies that we're going to talk about today. Now, how many people here would agree with this statement up on the screen right now, that technology will never replace agents, but agents using technology will? Right? Are we seeing that right now? Here's a little bit about me and why I throw this up there, because there's always two questions you should be thinking at any seminar. Anytime you hear a speaker, it's one is, how do you know? Okay? And what have you done with it? Okay? And that's why I'm going to show you a lot of the tools and strategies that we actually use to implement our real estate company. When we built it in San Diego, we started with just me and one other guy in a 300 square foot office. I'm responsible for over 1,000 closed transactions in San Diego. We built the largest independent company there. And using a lot of the free tools that were available to all my competition, we were able to build a very successful company that we sold. And then after selling the company, I started coaching and training brokers and agents around the country on creative marketing strategies to help win listings and convert buyers. Okay? Because all this other stuff about technology and social media and all that, it doesn't mean anything if you're not winning listings or converting buyers, right? Otherwise, it's just a waste of time. So most of what we're going to talk about is still available to everybody, and just not using it to build their business. So this isn't a real techie how-to class necessarily. It's more about getting the most out of the tools that are already available to you. I'm sure that you've been invited to probably 1,000 or 2,000 social media seminars, right? And most of them are taught by people who never sold a single house. So they're trying to tell us how to do our business. And it's very easy for them to say, well, be on Facebook, be on Twitter, be on LinkedIn, get on there 3-4 times a day, right? And oh, by the way, somewhere in between all that stuff, show people houses and represent your sellers, because that's what we get paid for. So we need to narrow it down and focus just on the things that will help us win business. Here's the HSA Facebook page. You might want to go check that out. There's great content on there. There's access to other webinars and seminars that we do that you guys want to check out. All of this is free. You know, when I built my company, all of my affiliates, anybody that I could lean on that can help me get any kind of free information, any kind of access to learning how to do one more deal, I leaned on them and they gained my loyalty. So HSA did something very smart. I mean, we love the free food and the coffee and the donuts. But when an affiliate can actually bring you something that can contribute to you getting one more deal, okay, that's real added value. And so that's what we've done here, is created this program so that all these webinars are free, the opportunities for coaching and training, and the webinars that are dedicated to each of these categories individually are also free. So keep an eye out for that. Tomorrow morning, we're actually doing a Facebook webinar that's dedicated just to all the changes on Facebook to help your business. So it's HSA Home Warranty on Facebook. So today I want you to commit to doing just one thing you may normally would not have done. And I should probably clarify, because I had an agent in Cincinnati go out and rob a bank. This is not about anything and everything. I'm talking about technology and social media specifically. Because we all know that it's not all technology and it's not all about the old way of doing business either. It's somewhere in the middle. And we still have to do the basics, right? It's still a personal business. I still send flowers to my clients. In fact, coming here yesterday before the seminar, one of my first-time home buyers had sent me a text thanking me. They moved into the house, got the flowers, sent me a picture, and then they sent me another picture and said, we didn't understand the card. So I said, what do you mean? And they sent a picture of it, and it said, rest in peace, sorry for your loss. So, of course, I called the florist and said, I give you guys tons of business. How do you screw this up? And they apologized, and they said, but Burke, don't feel so bad. Right now, somebody over at Brueggemann's Funeral Home is opening a card that says, good luck in your new home. So we still have to do the basics, though. It's a personal business. Right? We're going to talk today about combining your offline world and your online world to create more consistency. So what's this class all about? Right? To sound corny maybe for a second, today's class is about the American dream. We help people buy and sell the American dream every single day. That's what we get to do. Okay? We help first-time home buyers, even though rates have never been lower, in some ways it's never been more difficult to get a deal done. And so we help these first-time home buyers achieve that dream. We help soldiers coming home from war return to the warmth of their family in their own home instead of their old bedroom in their parents' house. We help those baby boomers and empty nesters sell their home so they can live their dream of traveling and oftentimes provide the down payment for their Gen X and Gen Y kids to buy a house. That's what this class is all about. This class is all about you. Why? Because all social media is your free public relations platform to tell these stories. Okay? We should never, ever be stumped for what we should put on our Facebook page or what you would talk about in an email. Okay? These are the things that we get to do. We need to tell these stories. Why? Because if people knew about all this stuff that we do, okay, we wouldn't fall below car salesmen in terms of consumer trust and perception. Right? So use this free public relations platform to build your sphere of influence, to build your network, to keep a high touch with the people you come in contact with. Okay? Because when you do an open house, most of those people are not going to buy that house. And then they're going to leave. And how are they going to keep a high touch with you and know what you're all about, know what your business is about, what your personality is about, if you don't have some form of online communication to connect with? Because you can't call them every single day asking to go show them property. That's how we're going to talk about integrating social media into our business. We're not going to talk about all this noise you see here. This is the whole social media conversation that's going on. Okay? And 99% of this is just going to waste your time. We're going to focus where the majority of the audience is. Okay? But at the same time, even amongst the big social networks, we don't have time to be on all of them all the time. So where do we focus? Where do we put most of our time? What's going to have the biggest benefit for you? We see now that 84% of real estate agents are on some form of social media. Now, being on there and using it to win listings or convert buyers is two different things. Okay? I would guess that most agents are on there and not really using it, other than to track down old boyfriends and girlfriends. And we're seeing it, people get set up, they build their page, and then it just sits there. Okay, so we're going to talk about today, how do we get more out of it? This screen here, now I know it might be tough to read for some of you, and there's a lot of slides in here, as Lisa said. There is a ton of information in this presentation. In fact, there's probably like 120 slides, and we're only going to go through a fraction of that. The reason is you guys are going to get this entire presentation. And there's some slides in here that are set up to just take you through step by step how to use this in your day-to-day business. Okay, so we're going to make sure you guys get a copy of that. So here's a reference point of all the big dominant social media platforms. The first one we see here, Facebook. How many people here have a personal Facebook page? Okay, most of you. How many have a business page on Facebook? Very good. How many people hate Facebook and wish it would just go away? Okay, and who knows, maybe it will. Their stock doesn't seem to be doing too well. How about Twitter? How many people here are on Twitter? Okay, only one or two of you. LinkedIn. How many people on LinkedIn? Good. Much more professional focused network. How about Google Plus? Okay. Something to put on your radar screen, and some of you may sign up if you have a Gmail or you create a Gmail account. It's pushing you into setting up a Google Plus account. Staying ahead of the curve, certainly. It hasn't caught on just yet, but it's building every day. But Google Plus was designed with a bigger focus around businesses and will certainly help you in the search engines because it's a Google product. So something to keep tabs on. YouTube. How many people have a YouTube channel or have used YouTube in a listing presentation or working with buyers? Okay, very few. And the latest version of virtual crack, Pinterest. Anybody been on there? Okay, you know what I'm talking about, right? Once you get in there. All right, well, all of this, again, we're only going to focus, if you're going to prioritize this, we're going to look at Facebook, YouTube, a little bit about LinkedIn, but there's information in this presentation about all of these things for you. The 3 rules of social media about enabling conversations, influencing your followers. Real Estate 101 was, help me find a house. What's my house worth? Tell me how the market is. Social media is about prove to me that I can trust you. Your number one goal, not just with social media, but really in interacting with any prospects, okay, online or on the phone, is that by the time you end the conversation, by the time they contact you after finding you online, that you're not trying to set up an appointment to find them the perfect property. What your goal is to make sure that at some point they identify you as the perfect person to show them any property. Okay, why? Because we go out, we show them what we thought was the perfect property for them. We show them the property, and what happens? Wasn't the right house for them for whatever reason. And then they leave. They'll say, I'll call you. And then 3 months later, after not hearing from them, you bump into them at the grocery store, and what did they do? Bought a house. But not from you. Why? Because you were the right agent at the right time if that was the right house, especially when they're popping in on open houses and such. Okay? But they didn't identify you as the right person to sell them anything. And the only way they're going to be able to see that is either through personal interaction, okay, or through what they see about you online. Now think about this, okay, and you might want to make note of this. When I started my company, the statistic was that 15% of buyers were starting their search on the web, right? So I said all the other guys can fight over the other 85%. I'm going to go after that 15%. And that number became 25 and 30 and 50, 75. And what does NAR say that number is now? 92%. Okay? And how much time do you think the average online consumer spends researching online before contacting you? Take a guess. I know it's after lunch, but somebody has to give me a guess. It's got to be a big number. What do you think it is? 5 minutes? A little bit bigger. How much time does the average consumer spend online researching before they contact you? 2 hours. 2 hours, a little bit bigger. But you're moving in the right direction. 8 hours. 8 hours. 18 months. Wow. 18 months. Okay? So what our personal opinions are about social media and Google and all this stuff, it's irrelevant because it's about the consumer. And they're going to get on there at some point. Why? Because Google is the #1 search engine on the planet. Facebook is the #2 search engine on the planet, besides being the #1 website on the planet. Okay? So they're researching the market. They're researching the agents. They're researching the trends. Right? So that means that we become the consultant because there's a lot of bad data on the web. Wouldn't you agree? Right? Especially with pricing of properties and such. So we're the ones who can tell them why one side of the street is worth more than the other side of the street, where the good school districts are, what's affecting the economy here. We need to be the ones who disseminate and explain the bad data. And that's what we're using our social media, our email marketing for, so that they know that we're the informed local agent for them to work with. Now, before we get into how you really leverage the web and technology and social media for winning listings and converting buyers. There's a step, excuse me, there's a step that I want to make sure that you take before getting online. And that is, it's a branding exercise. And each of you, either you work for a brokerage or you have your own company, but most of you work for a broker and they are a brand, okay? That brokerage, whether it's Prue or Keller Williams, Coldwell Banker, Realty One, these are brands. Just like all these companies you see up here, these companies spend a lot of time and money and research to make sure that when you walk into a store or walk into the mall or go online, you don't make purchases by accident, okay? So you know a lot of what these brands stand for just by seeing their logo or hearing their name. You know their slogans. You know what they're all about. Well, when you become a real estate agent, your name is no longer just your name. Your name is a brand. In fact, it's the brand that the consumer is going to interact with most, above whatever brokerage you work for. Their loyalty is going to be to you as the brand, okay? So what does your brand stand for? Write down 3 to 5 things that you think your brand represents in the marketplace. And don't say just loyalty, integrity, and experience, okay? Because there are plenty of agents who use that slogan in our business, and what don't they have? Loyalty, integrity, and experience. So it's been diluted, okay? Also, agents can come out of getting their license, and before the ink is even dry, they can go get a website built, and right across the top it says loyalty, integrity, and experience. And you can put in parentheses, never sold a single house, okay? But that brand statement has lost a lot of its meaning. So for you, what you want to do is come up with a brand statement that identifies what you do best, okay? So it could be that you're not Las Vegas real estate agent, okay? Maybe you're best at Las Vegas relocation, investing in Green Valley, short sales in Summerlin. Right? There is a niche that you want to own, okay? You guys have probably all heard the phrase, own a niche to get rich, right? So what is your niche? There's a new buzzword in social media and technology, and it's about being hyper-local, okay? They want to know, how much do you know about your market specifically? And don't try to be all things to all people. Because if all you are is realtor, Burke Smith realtor, all right, that's not going to get people to convert to work with you, to list with you or buy with you. Why? Because the average person in the buying, sell phase of their life personally knows 6 real estate agents. So if all they know you as is Burke Smith real estate agent, then how can they aggressively refer you to anybody, right? So what was your first name? Alice. Alice. So if I'm at a cocktail party or social function and someone tells me I'm moving into Las Vegas, okay, I say, oh, call my friend Alice, real estate agent. Oh, really? You know, shows my aunt and uncle, and the flight attendant does real estate part-time on the way here, okay? There's always somebody who can talk to them and refer them about real estate. But if I say, talk to Alice, she's a relocation specialist. She's got this whole concierge program. You should see how she sets you up so that you know what, for your kids, where all the schools are and the camps and where to shop. I mean, that's an aggressive referral because they know she's a relocation specialist. And how do they know that about her? Because that's her brand identity, okay? If you think you're the best resource in Las Vegas for short sales and foreclosures, then tell people that. Put that out there as your brand statement. Your #1 resource for real estate in Las Vegas. Your best resource for investing in real estate in Las Vegas. Okay, come up with that big, bold statement because perception is reality. Okay, and so that's something that you'll want to do before you start getting out there and trying to use the web and websites and social media without having a clear brand statement or brand identity. There's another strategy we're going to talk about here, and this is a 100-year-old strategy of marketing and advertising, and this works for anything that you do, whether it's flyers, postcards, newspaper and magazine ads, or your website, your Facebook page. And don't think for a second that your personal Facebook page is not marketing and advertising, especially if you don't have anything else, okay? Because unlike other professions, if that's all we have and our name is our brand, that personal page becomes a representation of what our brand, our business is about, okay? So the 40-40-20 rule says that 40% of the success of your marketing and advertising is based on knowing your audience, okay? And so it may sound simple, but when I ask agents, who'd you send that direct mail piece to? Well, to my farm. No, who? Well, the people that live there. No, who are they? Are they baby boomers, Gen X, Gen Y, renters, investors? Okay, who are you talking to with that message? When you just sent out a blast email to all the people in your database, okay, it can't be relevant to every single person. Who is this message for? When you just posted to your Facebook page, you just posted an article on there. Who are you talking to? Okay? Because if it's not relevant to me, it's going to start to turn me off. And I'm going to say, you know what? They keep sending me information that's not specific to me or not showing that they know who I am. I'm going to delete and move on. Okay, so knowing your audience is 40% of the success. And here's an example. We see two groups of people here. Baby boomers on one side and Generation Y, millennials on the other side. Okay, would we agree that these people probably communicate very differently, right? So we can't try to communicate with them the same way. And also we see now that Generation Y, people born after 1980, now outnumber baby boomers in the population. So there's a good chance that your next first-time home buyer, first-time home seller is going to come from either the younger end of Gen X or from that Gen Y group. You want to fill your sales funnel, that's who you'll be dealing with, okay? And there's a good chance that the baby boomers are either referring them to you or providing the financing for them to buy a house. So for them to refer you, they need to know that you can communicate with their kids as effectively as you were able to communicate with them. The other 40% of the success of your marketing and advertising is based on the value of your message. How valuable is what you're putting out there? Are you sending out just listed or just sold? Are you doing the worst thing possible on Facebook, which is only putting up your listings? Okay. How valuable is your message? I see when I started, there was an agent in my town who was advertising free home evaluations. Okay, contact me if you're thinking about selling, and I'll tell you how much your home is worth. Okay, and I still see it today. So one of the first things that we did was start advertising, and this guy's name is Bob. I won't say who he was with, but one of the first things that we did is said, if you're thinking about selling your home and you want to know how much it's worth, call Bob. If you want to know how to make your home worth more, call me. You see the difference? Okay, anybody can tell you how much your home is worth. We're going to coach you on how to make your home worth more. You don't need to know how much your neighbors' homes are worth. You need to know how to make yours worth more. Okay? So when you're doing that listing presentation or you're marketing to increase your listing presentation opportunities, there's a higher perception in the value of what you're offering than what the average agent is offering. Does that make sense? Okay? We would say, if you're thinking about selling your home, here are the top 5 things that you need to know. And I'd give them number 5, number 4, number 3, and number 2. And what do they have to do to find out the number 1 most important thing they needed to know if they were thinking about selling their home? Call me, which became email me, which became go to my website, which became go to my Facebook page, which became text me. All right? So write this down. Everything you do offline needs a call to action to drive people online. Everything you do offline should drive people online. Okay? Give people a place to go. They come to your open house. Hey, check us out. Put it on your flyers. If you like these pictures, you'll love the video. Go check out our YouTube channel. Go check out our Facebook page for more properties just like this. Okay? Everything you do offline has a call to action to drive them online. On top of that, we talk about the last component of this, the 20%. So we got 80% of your success is in knowing your audience and the value of what you're offering. The 20% is the look. It still needs to look good, okay? But here's an example of a good-looking website, right? But maybe overlooked the first two components of this, because in one click, page not found, right? So not only does that hurt the brand, it definitely hurts conversions, dead links on the homepage, and really hurts your search engine optimization and your rankings in Google because of dead links. How many people here have a website? Okay, so this is something you will want to do today. Check the links on your website, because you didn't build it probably. Somebody else did. And they put links on there for what's called search engine optimization, right? To hopefully help you in the rankings, linking out and linking back in. Well, I'll tell you a quick story about an agent in San Diego, covers the Rancho Santa Fe, Del Mar, La Jolla areas of San Diego. And if anybody knows that area, it's $1.2 million average price point. Right on the homepage of his website, he had a link to San Diego Lifestyles magazine. Innocent enough, right in the middle of the page, hopefully get him some good SEO. Problem is, magazine goes out of business, and there's one industry that never seems to have any problem in any economy, and that's the porno industry. And they love that domain name, SanDiegoLifestyles.com. So they bought it. So now, directly from this agent's homepage, he's linking out to a porno site. So I said, I got good news and bad news. Good news is your traffic is way up. Bad news is, here's why. So make sure, you guys probably don't have that same exact situation, but there's a good chance, especially with the way the economy's been, a lot of places that you're linking out to may not have those domains anymore. So think differently. Taking people offline, driving them online. The top 10 list, the top 5 list. This is giving people something of value so that they'll give you something of value. And the most valuable thing that they can give you is either an accurate phone number or an accurate email address. Okay? So that's why we want to start thinking about, if you're thinking about selling your home, here are some great staging tips. You give them 3 or 4. To get the top 2, they've got to go to your website, got to go to your Facebook page. Here's a very simple thing. Okay, I know that when we have a market where we don't have a ton of inventory, properties may not be sitting as long as they used to be in some cases, and in some cases they're sitting for too long. So we're still doing some of the necessary evils. We're doing property flyers, we're doing property brochures. This is a very simple thing. It didn't cost, I'll use this as an example, didn't cost any extra money. We saw that most property flyers, they got pictures of houses on the front, pictures of the house, maybe some contact info, right? And then nothing on the back. Sometimes there might be some mortgage info, but typically it's blank. So all we did was say, if you need to sell your home before you buy this lovely home, here are a few things you need to know, or to find out our listing tips and strategies. Go to our Facebook page, go to our website, text us for the top 3 things that you need to know. If you are renting and want to know how to upgrade to buying, here's what you need to know. So what we did, it didn't cost anything extra, is turn this one-dimensional, essentially throwaway, into a 3-dimensional dynamic marketing piece that we could track. And so it increased our listing opportunities in particular because of the people coming around, emptying out the flyer box, and then we never know what happened. Okay, the client calls and says, you need to come back out here and fill the flyer box, and say, how's that possible? I didn't get any phone calls. Okay, well now you can create a way to track those people and find out what their other interests are. Here's an example of a basic property flyer. Here's the price offered at, some illegible text, and some contact info. Okay, so we took the price off. Text me for the price. That's the number one thing they want to know, and they want to see more pictures. So text me for the price. If you love these photos, if you like these photos, go to our YouTube channel and see the video. You'll love the video. Okay, now they've got to go someplace else where I can actually track them. Sending them by text message, creating a text dialogue, because now we know more people surf the web from their phone than they do from a desktop PC. So creating opportunities to engage with them on a mobile device is going to become more and more important. We also, when we talk about branding, is keeping consistency offline and online. Right? We do a great job offline. If we're meeting with clients or we're showing property, we dress nice, right? We're going on a listing presentation. Hopefully we smell nice. We're showing buyers around. We get the car cleaned, okay? We drive a nice car. Why? We're keeping a presentation in the real world, right, that we want buyers and sellers to be attracted to us. Well, 92% of them are going online. And when they go there and they say, that can't be the same person I just met, they're pretending to be some high-end luxury listing agent. And I go here and all I see are a couple of $60,000 foreclosures on their website. Or the picture doesn't match the person I just met in real life. Okay? There's no consistency with the brand identity offline and online. And so make sure that the presentation online matches what you're doing offline. Also, when we talk about branding, why? Because what happens in Vegas stays on Facebook, okay? That's why, unlike our friends who have other jobs, okay, we really need to address protecting our personal and professional lives. Because again, when we become an agent, our name is a brand. So what they see on there is attached to what our business is about. One simple thing that you guys want to do today, how many people here are familiar with tagging on Facebook? Okay, so just because you didn't bring a camera to the party doesn't mean somebody else didn't bring a camera to the party. And now they tag you in your photo, that photo shows up on your page as if you put it there. So one of the things you want to do, very simple, go into your privacy settings. And in here, you'll see timeline and tagging, edit settings. And right here it says, review posts that friends tag you in before they appear on your timeline. And turn that on. The automatic default is off, and you'll want to turn that on. So that's one of the things you'll want to do today. What's that? All right, so the big number we're not that concerned with, the 900 million. We know there's lots of people there. The average user has 130 friends. That's something that I want you guys to keep in mind when we talk a little bit later. Why we're still talking about it? Because women 55 to 65 continue to be the fastest growing demographic on Facebook. So Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I just showed you everything that we can do for you here locally, right? I'm going to build a dedicated Facebook page for your listing so that we can market on the largest website on the planet. Why? Because it's not just for kids anymore. The fastest growing demographic are women 55 to 65, which is a very desirable group for us to be marketing your property to.